Today I'm talking about Slipknot's debut studio album titled Slipnot. It was released on June 29th, 1999 under the Roadrunner Records label. It's now celebrating 25 years. This release followed a 1998 demo that included several of the tracks that would appear on the album. In this video, I will give you a brief history of the events leading up to this album, and I'll talk more about the musical style as well as the songs on the album. It was produced by Ross Robinson and was the first major collaboration between Slipknot and Robinson, who focused on refining the band's raw, aggressive sound without changing their musical direction. Slipnot is notable as the only album to feature original guitarist Josh Brainard, who departed from the band at the end of the recording sessions in late 1998. Jim Root, who contributed to 2 tracks on this album, would become a permanent member starting with the next release, Iowa. The album can be described as having an intense percussion and overall heavy sound, spanning multiple genres within the metal spectrum. It received acclaim from both fans and critics, significantly boosting Slipknot's popularity. This album peaked at number 51 on the Billboard 200 and eventually achieved double platinum status in the US, becoming the band's best-selling album. But first, let's start with some history. I will begin my story in the early 1990s. This was when the heavy metal scene in Des Moines, Iowa was very big, and also when bands started to experiment with their sound. One band was Atomic Opera, the biggest heavy metal band in the city, with Jim Root on guitar. Meanwhile, a young drummer named Joey Jordison was in a thrash metal band called Modifidious. In late 1991, Modifidious opened for Atomic Opera at a local club called The Runway. That night was a turning point. Their guitarist left to join the more successful Atomic Opera, prompting Jordison to bring in local guitarist Craig Jones. Around the same time, drummer Shawn Crahan formed Heads on the Wall, a band that played funk metal covers, and they released a demo tape in July 1992. Another band, Vexx, was also making waves in Des Moines. This death metal band included Anders Colsefni on drums and later vocals, Paul Gray on bass, and Josh Brainard on guitar and vocals. Despite their potential, Vexx never recorded any material. Shawn Crahan also hung out at the Runway on Sundays when the club opened to all ages. It was here that he connected with other young musicians, including Colsefni and Gray. By March of 1993, Crahan was jamming with Colsefni and Gray and guitarist Patrick Newworth, and they played songs in Gray's basement. One of the tracks was titled Slipnot, though they never settled on a band name. In 1983, Gray, Brainard, and Colsefni formed a new band called Inve Catharsis, with Jordison occasionally joining their jams. Brainard eventually left to reunite with Jordison and Jones in Modifidious, participating in demo recordings throughout 1993 and 1994. As death metal gained popularity, Gray formed a death metal band named Body Pit, which quickly became a local sensation. Although Gray tried to recruit Jordison for Body Pit, he was unsuccessful. Instead, Gray brought in a local guitar teacher, Mick Thompson, before Body Pit disbanded. By September 1995, Colsefni, Crahan, and Gray formed a new band named The Pale Ones. Gray invited Jordison to a rehearsal, and he joined as their drummer, moving Crahan to percussion. Colsefni also took up percussion while continuing as the band's vocalist. They soon invited Brainard and local musician Donnie Steele to join as guitarists, forming a 6-member lineup. They made their debut on November 5th, 1995 at a benefit show in Des Moines, performing under the name Meld. Late-night planning sessions at a Sinclair gas station where Jordison worked became crucial for the band's early development. In late 1995, Jordison suggested renaming the band Slipnot, inspired by one of the songs. They began recording at SR Audio in December of 1995, self-financing the project, which cost around $40,000. In February of 1996, Steele left the band and was replaced by Craig Jones. Jones soon transitioned to the sampler role, and Mick Thompson took over as guitarist. After a very difficult mixing and mastering process, Slipnot self-released Mate, Feed, Kill, Repeat on Halloween, October 31st, 1996, Initially, the band and their producer, Shawn handled distribution before passing it to Isthmus Recordings in early 1997. The demo received some local airplay but failed to attract record label interest. Undeterred, the band returned to the studio to develop new material, seeking a more melodic vocal style. They recruited Corey Taylor from the band we know, Stone Sour, moving Colsefni to backing vocals and percussion. Colsefni left the band in September 1997, and Greg Welts, affectionately known as Cuddles, filled the percussion role. In early 1998, Slipnot produced a second demo for record labels. This caught the attention of producer Ross Robinson, who offered to produce their debut album after attending rehearsals. DJ Sid Wilson joined as the ninth member, impressing the band with his enthusiasm and skills. In late June, Slipnot signed a $500,000 seven-album deal with Roadrunner Records. 2 days before the signing, Welts was fired and replaced briefly by Brandon Darner. In September of 1998, Chris Vane replaced Darner on percussion as Slipnot headed to Malibu, California, to work on their debut album. During the recording process, Brainard decided to leave the band, citing dissatisfaction with some decisions. Jim Root was brought in to complete the lineup. The album's production concluded in early 1999, allowing Slipnot to join the Ozfest tour, significantly expanding their audience. Slipnot's self-titled debut album, released on June 29, 1999, marked a dramatic evolution from their earlier work. With 9 members, their sound had transformed into something much faster, something more intense. The singles Wait and Bleed and Spit It Out received airplay and helped build a loyal fan base through touring and word of mouth. By early 2000, their debut album was certified platinum, a milestone for both Slipnot and Roadrunner Records. This was just the beginning of Slipnot's journey to success. Let's talk more about the recording process. In 1997, following the release of the demo Mate, Feed, Kill, Repeat, Slipnot wanted to create new music. The band members, now including new vocalist Corey Taylor, went to SR Audio, a local studio in Des Moines, Iowa. They began writing and recording a batch of new songs, but despite their efforts, they could not move beyond pre-production. By 1998, Slipnot was attracting attention from major record labels such as Epic and Hollywood Records. On September 29, 1998, the band left Des Moines and relocated to Indigo Ranch Studios in Malibu, California, eager to record an album after a long wait for a record deal. During the time in Malibu, the band attended a show by avant-garde metal supergroup Fantomas, which was fronted by Mike Patton, who we know from Faith No More and many other bands, Mr. Bungle and all that. Slipknot were fans of all those bands, and they found new inspiration in this avant-garde style. Now, they had a new demo. Slipknot highlighted the track Spit It Out, and with the help of their manager, Sophia John, managed to get a copy to renowned producer Ross Robinson. Impressed by their intensity and potential, Robinson met with the band, and soon after he signed them to his own label, I Am. He later facilitated their signing with Roadrunner Records. By November 11, 1998, the recording seemed complete and the band returned to Des Moines. However, during the Christmas period, guitarist Josh Brainard, who had recorded all tracks up to that point, decided to leave the band. At first, the band was not sure why he wanted to leave. Brainard later certified that he left due to dissatisfaction with certain decisions made within the band. Jim Root was brought in as Brainard's replacement, and in February 1999, Slipknot returned to the studio to finalize the recording. During this period, they added a new track titled Purity. The mixing process proved to be challenging as drummer Joey Jordison and Robertson opted to mix the entire album using analog equipment instead of the more common digital formats at that time. This album is considered to be nu metal, but the truth is it's not easy to put into one category. The sound has roots in death metal, thrash metal, and speed metal, and this was even confirmed by Joey Jordison. The album also has elements of alternative metal, there's some rap metal, even a little bit of industrial. The band's use of percussion, turntables, and samples was very unique. Alternative Press praised the inventive sampling, creative guitar work, and an absolute percussive overload, while Q Magazine described the album as a terrifying racket. Despite its intense sound, Slipknot introduced moments of melody, particularly in the single Wait and Bleed. The album's intro, which is the number 742-617-000027, named after the barcode of their demo, Mate, Feed, Kill, Repeat, features guitar scratches and abstract samples by Craig Jones. Some dialogue in the track was taken from a Charles Manson documentary with a chilling line, "The whole thing, I think it's sick." In a later interview, Jordison revealed that the distorted voice was Corey Taylor's. The song Sick originally from the early days, specifically during Jordison's first rehearsal with Slipnot when they were known as the Pale Ones, originally called Slipnot. The song underwent a transformation when Taylor joined the band. Recording the track was an experience unto itself, with the band members all in the same room, headphones strapped to their heads, slamming and going crazy. Ross Robinson added to the cast by throwing potted plants at Jordison so that he would have to duck while playing the drums. I asked the AI generator to make an image of it, but it refused, so I had to change the prompt, and this is what I got. But sorry, it's the best I can do. But anyway, back to the story. I'm going to give my personal opinion on some of the songs in the album in general. I'd probably rank this towards the lower half of their discography, only because I like a lot of their later albums much better, and I'm a fan of their sound after Volume 3, the Subliminal Verses. But anyway, I like this album, so let's talk more about some of the individual songs. Starting with the first track, that's that long number I was talking about. It's just an intro track, so sets up the tone of the album. It's kind of like, it sounds like it's from like a true crime documentary, and I mentioned that before with the Charles Manson connection. But then the first real song with Sick, and I like this one. It's very fast and energetic. It's very representative of their sound. After this, I would say, in my opinion, are the best songs on the album, with Eyeless, Wait and Bleed, Surfacing, and Spit It Out. Eyeless is very fast and aggressive, and I think Corey Taylor really shows off his vocals on that one. This one has a line, "You can't see California without Marlon Brando's eyes." It's just a weird lyric. It sounds like something System of a Down would write. Then there is Wait and Bleed. That's one of their most popular songs. It's one of the more accessible songs on the album. It's very heavy, it's aggressive, but it's also melodic. And then there's Surfacing. This one's one of my favorites. I like the weird guitar sounds in the beginning and the heavy, almost thrash metal guitar riffs. It's a little psychedelic, but it's also energetic with a lot of different sounds used. Then there's Spit It Out. This one is one of the most popular songs. I like this one a lot. It's very energetic and has a sound that's very representative of the band, with the fast rhythms and heavy riffs. This one also has some scratches and hip-hop mixed into the sound, but they never go full rap metal. It's just there to add to the sound. Now after this, they're still doing 9 songs on the album that I don't like as much, but there are some really good moments here and there. Tattered and Torn is very weird, so it's one of the songs I don't like that much. I guess I could say the same for Me Inside. It's kind of weird, but I like Corey Taylor's vocals on the second half of the song. After this is the song Liberate, and this one's really good. I like this one. It has a classic sound with the heavy riffs, the turntable scratches. The vocals are very diverse, so this is one of my favorites on the album. Then there's the song Prosthetics. It's a very dark song, similar to Vermilion from Volume 3. Then the song No Life, which has some rapping, but I don't mind it. And then after that is the song Diluted, which is really good. Another one of those dark songs. Then the song Only One is not too bad, but this one has more of, let's just say, a Corey Taylor rapping type of thing. But otherwise, I like the guitar riffs. Then there is the 8-minute long song Scissors, which is very dark. It's slow, atmospheric. It sometimes feels long, but has some pretty cool guitar riffs. I've read a lot of comments of people comparing it to Daddy from Korn. On the original CD, there was a part with the band talking, and then they went into that last song, Eeyore, which had a typical sound with lots of speed and aggression. You know, it was the 90s, so all these bands had to have those hidden tracks. So that is all. Check out my video on Volume 3, the Subliminal Verses. I did that not too long ago. Please give this video a thumbs up. Hit the bell for notifications so you can be updated every time I put out a new video. You can follow me on Facebook. You can follow me on TikTok. I have some additional content there. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.